but eventually we managed to strip the fabric from the frame which holds the dashboard to the car.
Yes!
Now we can send this off to repair, along with some other parts as well.
Look! It's been repaired and re-stitched.
Blue. We're also going to do the whole interior. This is going to be one of a kind car. So a massive thanks to Auto Trim for re-stitching this dashboard. I'm sure the rest of the interior that they're doing is going to look just as good. Now, we need to fit it. First thing to go in is the accelerator pedal. Then, the brake master cylinder, which slides through the back of the dashboard, and my dad's gonna pull it through on the inside. There's a huge nut and bolt into the car that we're both tightening up, a few electrical connectors on it, and 2 brake lines going to it, all of which need tightening up.
Brake, accelerator, on.
Then, it was time for the brake pedal, but we noticed something.
Yeah, this is a European car, not a German car. Why do they call it a German?
Why is it European?
Because look, made in Austria, made in Poland. Look, here.
This part was made in the Czech Republic. This module was made in Spain. Part of the wiring loom was made in Ukraine. The cylinder head was made in Italy, and it just continued.
And what have you found that's made in Germany?
The brake pedal!
That's the only thing we've seen so far which is actually made in Germany. So maybe it's just a huge combination of Europe, but one thing we haven't seen is made in the UK. Maybe there's a reason for that. Next up, the dashboard frame can be put in. This has also got the heater box on the back of it as well. We've got to slide it into place, making sure the pipes for the heater box thread through the car. Then it's time for those super long bolts, 1 each side. We've done this job before on a purple GT3, so it's a breeze for us now on the GT3 RS. Now I can put the hoses onto the heater box and also the aircon lines which connect from the outside going into the dashboard as well. Then move back inside to connect up all the electrics into the dash. Before we put the fabric of the dash in, we needed a new passenger airbag. I've got a new one from Porsche, and this slides in underneath the dashboard and bolts to it. 1 new passenger airbag in place. Now we're ready for the fabric to be installed back onto the frame. And then we can slide in things like the screen, which we still don't know whether it works or not, and all the air vents. There was the last few things to bolt up. Before then, we was able to test whether it all worked.
Now this part here, when we picked up the car, this part was actually like missing, and the actual stop clock, which is meant to go in the middle, it's like a stopwatch, it wasn't in there. And I've not bought another one yet because they are quite expensive. Well, actually from Porsche, like £4,000, but we can get them on eBay for around £900 second hand. But they all come in different colours. And my dashboard was yellow, it has yellow dials in it, but we still don't know whether that's actually going to work for the instrument cluster. So until we know if that works, I don't want to jump to buy a yellow clock in the centre if we have to change the clock colour on the instrument cluster. But let's see what happens when we put some power to it. So for now, that is staying off. These do not look like they've been underwater. Comparing it to like when we've just done the Rolls Royce, the inside of there doesn't look rusty at all. We're going to plug these in and we're going to see what happens. We don't know, like at the minute we've got all the modules off the Talisa, the German car. We're using the clocks out of the American car, and then we just want to see, we just want to see if it works. If that screen works, I can't see why this one wouldn't.
And there's only one way to find out whether it will actually work. Plug both of the connectors in and give it a try.
Right, I want to see if anything comes on. Ready, guys?
Have I heard a noise?
Made a noise.
Okay, so nothing at the moment.
It's doing something back here.
Yeah, blowing fuses.
So in Freddy's GT3, when you've got in it, all the screens come on in the car, and you've just put power to the car, and it's doing nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing. Absolutely nothing. Good start, guys.
There isn't a lot for it to do, really, is there? All you wanted to happen with that to light up.
Well, something at least. I mean, we've actually made less progress because in America, The interior light, come on now. We ain't even got an interior light. Come on.
So it's not looking good for the electrics in the car. All of this stuff is super expensive. I've already had to pay for all of the modules that are in the car at the minute, and I'm hoping I don't have to buy anything more. Instead of stopping, we were just going to carry on. The car was in pieces and there was a lot missing, and this could be part of the reason why some of the screens aren't working. Firstly, installing the carpet, which again was brand new. This car barely did any miles before it went into the water.
Time for this box.
This box could be the reason why the screens aren't working. I think this is the thing that controls it all. So I'm going to plug all that in, slide that in the dashboard, and the thing that holds that in place is the center console. And in the center console, there's more electrics. Handbrake buttons, gear sticks, and all the climate controls. All I can do is install it all and give it a try. You can also see some of the new blue stitching as well.
Should we see if anything works now?
Well, this is plugged in, so it should work.
I don't want to take it apart again, so let's see if that works. Let's see if that works. Action. Oh, yeah. Yes. No way. Whoa, that's going crazy. That's doing stuff.
But
That's doing stuff. That's doing stuff.
the clock still aren't working.
That's not working.
That's
Okay.
good, though.
That is good news.
We actually have something which works, minus the instrument cluster. But again, I don't know whether something like the engine ECU needs to be plugged in for that to work. So I'm not going to jump to conclusions now. Our next step will be to pull the Porsche into the lift, because it's getting towards that time where we can fit the engine.
Here we are. Welcome home. I've been really looking forward to your summer out here. You're gonna have fun.
Did you guys know that and Cece's uncle was one of the kids that went missing in 1994?
That story gave me nightmares.
Whoa! Here is the fuel tank. But what holds this fuel tank up is the front subframe, and we've not got that far yet. We're thinking it's going to be better for us to put this on once that engine's in, because we just want to hold that fuel tank up. So if we put that in now, nothing's going to hold it unless we put some straps on it. So what we're going to do is leave that until this engine is in, then we can wire up that to start the engine.
Before the engine goes in, we've got that hose to replace. And I've got a second-hand one here, which I'm just going to slide onto the bottom of this fuel line and then clip the other part onto the fuel pump. After that, I can clip back in the electrical connections. Then it's just the connector for the new fuel pump that we need to fix. And we've got one here off an Audi loom. My dad's now going to solder that to the wires on the Porsche loom, test the strength,
Strong, that.
Well done.
then put some heat shrink around it, a bit of loom tape after that, and connect it all up. Job done there. After that, there's some kind of bracket with a heat shield, which I think holds the exhaust. But for our first start, we're not going to put any exhaust on. So if it does start, it's going to be pretty loud. Now it's time for our effectively brand new engine to go in our new shell.
Now, if you were to check the old shell out that we bought in America, which has been fully submerged underwater, out on car vertical, you'd see it's got a pretty bad report. It's got registered as crash damage. It's got a damaged salvage title in America, but of course, we're not rebuilding that shell. We're rebuilding Talisa.
And Talisa is yet to be imported into the UK. We'll have to do that when it's fully
Do
rebuilt.
you think it'll start?
I don't think it's going to start.
You don't think it's going to start?
I think it's going to cause an electrical glitch.
Huge moment right now. Huge moment.
Now we can lower Talisa down onto our freshly built engine.
Another good thing about car vertical as well is that if your car was crash damaged, it will actually show you photos when the car was auctioned off at the car crash auction website, like this car on the screen.
And on top of that, it will tell you when it was damaged, and it also gives you a full record of the car. Every time it's been bought, every time it's been sold, and every time it's had a license plate change.
There we go. Sweet.
Now the engine was in, we lifted up the car, but noticed a problem.
Guys,
Yes, guys?
very dangerous here.
Why, guys?
Don't know if you saw the front ramps.
Oh, my.
Oh my god!
That's safe.
So some counterweights were definitely needed to keep the Porsche from falling off the ramp, and a few straps. But once it was all safe, we could then go back underneath it and tighten up all the mounts to the chassis of the car. Germany, you'll be able to find the full history of it. Now I've got some wires to connect up to the gearbox and the gear cable, and most importantly, this power wire, which connects up to this here. And without that connected, you have no chance of this car starting.
The engine is in. There's still stuff to connect at the top. But one thing we do want to check before we put any fluids in is that the one thing we didn't change is the diff oil. And there's gearbox oil and there's differential oil. We're just going to undo a drain plug on the diff just to see if any water comes out of it, because then it has been contaminated with water, which is highly likely. And if it has, it means we've got to fill it up with some new diff oil. Let's do it.
Oh, there's
Water, guys.
Oh!
Oh.
I thought we was past this stage. Guys.
Get another one.
Oh my god, it's got like poo in it.
Tony, quick! Tony!
Oh my, how much water is in
There's
there? The whole
loads.
river's in there. If you want to check your car out on Car Vertical and you don't want anything like this to happen, I suggest that you do that with the link in the description box below and use my discount code, which is on the screen here, for discount on that check. Oh, I thought we was past this water stage. No. Right, here we go. Second drain on the diff. What the hell? Whilst that's draining out, because there's a lot of water in there, we're going to put some engine oil in there. Well, it was a good job we drained the diff oil, well, what was left of it. Whilst we don't need diff oil to actually start the car, we think we will need engine oil.
This is the oil specifically for the RS engine, as everyone's wondering why we're using this disgusting brand.
In your opinion.
In my opinion.
So in goes 8 litres of this oil. And it's a weird colour as well, it's green. But we've been told specifically from Porsche that if it's a fresh engine, we must use this oil.
Right, with the modules out of this German car, because we had the body control module, we thought it was a good idea to take the engine ECU as well, bearing in mind ours was soaking. This could have been a very bad mistake because the American engine and the American gearbox has different things on it to what the German car would have. So German cars have OPF filters in the exhaust, Americans don't. I don't know how much of this is going to matter, whether this is going to work and talk to the rest of the electronics of the car. This could be absolutely a nightmare, but at least it isn't wet. So we're going to give it a go.
Essentially, all we're doing is making sure we use the German body control module and the German engine control module. Because if we mix and match them, it's likely that the car won't work. But we don't know whether the American engine is going to work with the German module.
Here we go, guys. First off, let's see if the clocks work with the engine ECU in.
Smartsheet helps propel McLaren Formula 1 cars to the starting line.
We don't focus on results, we focus on what leads to results. With Smartsheet supporting our operations, the results will come.
Topgolf is introducing free playtime. Anytime. Waggles on a Wednesday, free.
This is our last grasp at seeing if the instrument cluster works, now that the ECU is plugged in.
Nothing at the moment. No, I think we need the key.
Oh, I thought it come on. I thought it actually come on then.
It seems to be completely dead.
This is all working, but this ain't. The question is,
Security objective.
Mic off. Mic on.